Dang it. That's a continuity error. I'm gonna have to rewrite the whole thing again. Oh, I hate this.
Shaina, I need your help.
What's up?
My teacher asked us to write a short story for homework and I completely forgot.
I think I can help. Sit down. So, what was your assignment?
Write a 3 to 5 page short story about anything.
Anything? That's not very helpful.
I know, right? My mind is totally blanking.
I bet, but this should be an easy task. First, you need to know what kind of story you want to tell.
Psychological thriller.
That's a lot to do in 5 pages. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but I'm not knowledgeable enough in that to help.
Oh, fine. How about romance?
That I can do. So now that you know what kind of story you want to tell and your limitations, your page limit, medium, etc., you can start to think about characters. For a story as short as this, you should probably only have 1 or 2 leading characters.
I want to tell a story about 2 girls who meet at a theme park.
Okay, so what dynamic will they have?
I want them to meet for the first time at the theme park. So, I guess none?
I guess what I mean here is, what are their personalities?
Well, one of them I want to be a blonde. When I imagine her, she's like Barbie. The other, maybe a tomboy.
That's it? Those aren't very universal characters.
Huh? What do you mean?
A universal character is one the audience can relate to. The less like a stereotype they are, the more people can relate.
But how do I make them less like that?
Well, I think a name is a good place to start.
The Barbie girl will be named Lola, and the tomboy will be Tilly.
Alright, now to make them even more universal, they need more human-like traits and struggles. Saying Lola is just a Barbie isn't actually saying much. Instead, you can show that through the story that she's kind, and maybe a bit of a jack of all trades, like Barbie. But at the same time, maybe she's a little bit airheaded. Tilly, being a tomboy, can be someone who's good at mechanical stuff, but may not be very good at expressing her emotions. Giving them interests as well as downfalls that people can relate to will make people feel emotionally connected to them.
But how do I show those things in the story without saying them?
That's always a bit hard. You definitely want to show instead of tell. Maybe you can show Tilly's strength by winning one of those big strength hammer games. I don't know what they're called. Or you could show Lola's airheadedness by not realizing a guy is flirting with her. She could assume it's just someone being nice to her since she's not into guys, right?
That's smart. Okay, so characters are good enough for now, but what about the story?
Well, you're not gonna like this, but you're gonna have to plan out everything you want to happen in the story before you start writing it. That doesn't mean things can't change after you write it. After all, you can't truly know what story you're telling until you're actually done with it. But it's important that you have a good enough idea to be able to write the first draft.
Okay, let me think. Story triangle. Beginning. I want them to go to the theme park. Then they'll meet at said theme park. And in the end, they fall in love.
That's a good base idea, but you mentioned the story triangle. It's great for kids when they learn it, but it's for kids for a reason. It's basic, but there's a better triangle. Well, I mean, it's not actually a triangle. Here, look at this.
I didn't sign up for geometry.
Good thing it's not geometry. Take a look at the beginning. That flat line is the status quo.
Hey, don't they say that in Hamilton?
No, they say quid pro quo, which is a different thing. But Hamilton is a good example of good storytelling and character development.
But it isn't completely historically accurate.
Of course not. It shouldn't be. If it was, that would just be a documentary, which is its own type of storytelling.
I didn't know storytelling varied so much.
It does depend on all sorts of things. The medium, the tone, the type of story you're telling, even when it takes place.
Okay, so what is the status quo?
Well, it means the existing state of affairs. But in this context, it would mean the current lives of the characters. Their lives before the adventure.
So, Tilly and Lola before they go to the theme park.
Right. After that, you have the inciting incident. This would be Tilly and Lola meeting for the first time. This sets off their adventure to whirlwind love.
So, after the inciting incident, then what?
The tension grows. It builds up to something. This could be maybe when they first meet. Lola lies to Tilly about something, and the environment keeps almost exposing it.
And then, at the climax, it's revealed?
That's a possibility, but a bit predictable, huh?
What do you mean?
People love stories that surprise them. Besides, the triangle is always a bit misleading. The climax doesn't have to be the highest point of the story.
But that's what I was always told!
I mean, it usually is. Honestly, it depends on the person. What one person finds exciting might not be to another person. I usually find the crisis to be the most exciting part of a story.
The what?
The crisis is the moment the main character has to make a choice that no one else can make for them. This is usually a result of the climax and starts the resolution. I read a great piece of advice once. Coincidences to get your character into trouble are great. Coincidences to get them out of trouble is bad. That's why it's important for them to have this crisis, and why it's important for them to make the choice themselves.
So let me get this straight. No outside force can ever get them out of trouble.
No, at least me personally, I don't think that. If it's a small situation the character is in, I think it's fine. But if it's the main plot of the story, you can't let an outside force resolve it. If you do, the characters don't learn anything. They don't grow.
How do you have the crisis moment if there are two main characters?
Honestly, you should probably pick just one of them to be the main character. That doesn't mean the other is less important, it's just that the conflict will be based around them. It's possible to have more than one main character, but it's more complicated.
Well, I don't want it to be more complicated. Lola will be the main character.
Great, so what's the conflict Lola has found herself in?
Okay, so Lola goes to the theme park and runs into Tilly. Lola thinks she's cute, so she invites her to go to do different things in the theme park. They have fun. Lola tells Tilly to meet her at the hot dog stand for the hot dog eating contest at midnight, cause those happen at midnight in this world. But when Tilly goes to meet her there, she sees her talking to a guy who's flirting with her. Tilly is sad and leaves, mad and upset. Lola is sad that Tilly doesn't show up and goes to get cotton candy by herself. Tilly is also sad eating cotton candy when they end up in each other's universes again. Tilly gets upset and goes off on Lola for leaving her on. Tilly tells her how she feels. Lola explains she didn't know that the guy was flirting with her and tells Tilly that she feels the same. Lola makes the choice to ask Tilly on a date, and
then you've created yourself a new status quo.
So that's the end.
Of the short story? Yes. Does it have to be the end of the character's love story? Not at all. You've created a lot of drama and room for lore in this story, if you want to continue it.
So it's good then? I can start writing?
I didn't say that. You've gotten the hard parts done. Now you just need to flesh it out more. Add as much drama as possible. People love stories because they aren't like real life. Why do you think in a lot of coming-of-age movies, there's always that one character that'll walk off in the middle of a conversation? That's not realistic at all, but it adds to the tension of the story. Plus, it's really funny to me. If I ever write something that takes place in high school, I am going to have that happen at least once.
How do I make things more dramatic?
Put them in a place where their situation is harder. For example, if a character gets stuck on an escalator, they can just walk off. But if they get stuck in an elevator, that makes things more complicated for the character. Put Lola and Tilly in a dramatic situation. Maybe make them get stuck on the Ferris wheel and then they have to explain themselves to each other.
So, a crazy, mascot forces them to get on it because he sees how tense they are. Once they're stuck together, Tilly then goes off on Lola.
That's good. It's important to make use of the setting. It means nothing for them to be in a theme park if the reader wouldn't be able to know unless you told them.
Wow, I can't believe we came up with this whole story so fast. But I feel bad, you pretty much did the assignment for me.
Not really. You still need to come up with where the story takes place. I mean, is it a nice theme park or is it not? What country is it in? And you need to know a lot more about the characters. What they want, what they need, what they're afraid of, what they look like. There are a lot of resources out there to help you with that, though. After that, you need to write it. And then write it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again.
Oh, I get it.
Sorry. I hate to tell you this, but writing is absolute torture.
Wait, why do you do it then?
Well, because I don't know who I'd be without it. It's a part of me I couldn't bear to lose. It's my passion. Sure, some of the technical aspects are excruciating, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Being able to do those excruciating things, finally understanding the rules of writing, means that I can break them one day if I want to.
There are rules?
I literally just told you most of them.
Oh, right. Beginning, middle, and climax, crisis, resolution. I totally knew those were rules. So, writing is your life?
I've been coming up with stories for as long as I can remember. There are stories in everything. They can be found everywhere. That's the beauty in telling them. Every other art form starts with a story as well. In a way, you need to be a storyteller like me to do any other kind of art. Or really, anything.
So, can I start calling you the storyteller?
You know what? I like that name. You better get started writing, though. Don't you have English next?
No.
You're so cooked.